Alright.
Stream is up.
Alright, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good to be back here on a Sunday as always. And again, as always, myself, Scratch, is here with Inpw, what's it? Inpw?
Hello.
Also from Cape Town, and Ivic up there from Joburg.
How's it?
Is it Centurion? Where is it?
Yeah, Centurion is good enough.
Hi.
Centurion, ugh. Traffic.
That whole area is just like, I don't know, I can't distinguish from each other.
Centurion is better than Joburg, please.
Yeah, I wouldn't
It's
know.
like Belleville in comparison to Cape Town.
We are waiting for a guest. We just struggled the last 30 minutes to get hold of him, but apparently he's online now. Not going to mention any names because it might be that we don't get him online, but
We might get a different guest altogether.
Yes.
But we have guests lined up.
But we have guests lined up. It's just some of them didn't answer, and yeah.
Yeah. There's a little bit of an admin mix-up.
Yeah, guys, if we got a guest, be there on time.
Ugh, it happens.
Nah, it's
I mean,
not the end of the world. It's not a train smash.
We've lost guests, like, earlier as well, I mean.
And we had guests on, who was it? Shia. That we couldn't hear a thing he's saying.
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah.
was a little bit meh. Yeah.
Anywho, I played Cards Against Humanity for the first time yesterday.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was really funny.
It just sucks they don't actually, like, import the cards here. You can print them out and cut them at home, but, yeah, there's no actual... Yeah, even through Amazon they don't ship down here.
Do you get a furry version of it?
Well, you can make cards as much as you want. I mean...
We should make a furry version of Cards Against Humanity. The shit that will be there.
Or just, you know, you could just add them to the pile. Like, you get a bunch of, like, blank cards that you can fill in along the way. With every pack there are, like, I don't know, like maybe 20 or so white cards and 4 or 5 black cards that you can use to write your own questions and answers. And they have a ton of expansions as well. Some of them are themed in, like, there's like Crabs Adjust Humidity, which is like sort of an off-brand of the same product. Since the whole thing is sort of Creative Commons, people have started making their own sets of cards and just marketing them as sort of a knockoff or a parody of Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, we should make a furry version of it.
I already have quite a few, like, decently South African cards in mind.
Cards Against Furmanity.
Something like that.
I think there's an actual like range that's been going through that point already.
News from Potteroo? No, there I mentioned the name.
Potteroo is actually at his family.
Oh boy.
Okay, so he's not going to be our
certain
guest
words,
today.
OS. Shit.
Okay.
I was so focused on the fact that I was missing the call yesterday that I stupidly forgot about the show. I'm at my parents' place since I hadn't seen them since last November. That's fine. This is entirely his screw up. I'm terribly sorry about this, guys, but Potteroo was supposed to join us. He just forgotten, and it's not really it's really not a big problem. I said no problem. We've kind of worked around it. We will, however, possibly get Cajunfox within the next 25 minutes.
No, last saw his family in November. A shame, man.
Yeah, shame. Like, I mean, like, seriously, that's absolutely big, like, stuff. It's alright, no worries.
It happens.
Alright, so we can talk about crazy stuff now. Like Cards Against Furries.
Sorry.
Oh boy.
Oh, yes, I can imagine the type of jokes that you could create in a game like that.
I'm already looking at quite a few here.
Because...
In other words, like, something around the lines of, like, tentacles and...
Yes, all the shit that you can possibly imagine. And worse, because the game itself is already There was some weird shit cards that we got freaking yesterday. I won't even elaborate on it, but it can actually turn really, really just weird.
It's hilarious, though.
So imagine you make it even more weird by introducing something that is, that has the potential to be very
You're most
weird.
amazing. Thank you so much. Everybody's most amazing. Thank you very, very much.
What's most amazing?
Everyone's most amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a furry pack I see nowadays.
Yeah, Raccoon just said the P first played it online. I think there was a furry pack as well. Well, you can create your own one. Some of the ones that we played yesterday was obviously a reference to that. And Ivic dropped. Why is this 3G?
Are you serious now?
Yes.
Boy.
There's a massive storm coming in on Johannesburg, so I don't even want to know how this call is gonna go, because there it's like predictable. If there's gonna be a storm, you're not gonna have a signal. That's funny.
Ugh.
Yeah, but so far, at least the heat is a little bit better today.
Yeah, well, down here at least. What else?
I was super pissed off yesterday because we had the Bri, where we play Cards Against Humanity. Then the one day that there's actually a swimming pool and everything like that, just before nighttime the weather closes in.
Yeah, well, yeah, Umi kept saying it. Welcome to Cape Town. That's just how shit works.
Trying to get that. Hey, Ivic, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Are you back?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, I'm back. No, not really.
So is the thunderstorm that bad?
I couldn't say.
Oh boy.
Is it one of those huge cumulonimbus I'm not a meteorologist. Cumulonimbus clouds.
Cumulonimbus. Repeat after me.
There was more sun. There's lights that I can hear.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
I know. We don't have a guest, Ivy, because we're gonna drop out. This is gonna be the worst podcast ever.
What I'm gonna do is.
Patreon. We need to start the Patreon thing, guys.
Dude, no.
We can't because we don't have enough people to support it to pay for that anyways.
Yeah. Or, he could just move or something. Get a house that actually has an internet connection.
Or just get. I'm gonna speak to him now. No, I'll speak to him after the podcast.
Yeah, well, yeah, Buglish. I mean, Buglish. I don't believe we've seen you in the chat before, and if we have, excuse me, for my lack of observation. But yeah, this is sort of we kind of had a little bit of an idea going, but it completely fell flat now.
Yeah.
I mean, with a thunderstorm and one of our guests cancelling, yeah, this is kind of pulling the rug out from under us completely. So I don't know. We're just
we did prepare.
Yeah. now we're just gonna have to fill 50 minutes with I don't know what.
Hey, what about a Q&A?
With the 4 people that are online, sure.
Yes.
Or I could do a dramatic reading from one of the many books on my bookshelf.
Do a dramatic reading.
Okay. So where do I start? Long Walk to Freedom, 1984. What else is that? Carl Rogers on Becoming a Person. No, that's more like psychology stuff. Here it is. A textbook on computer networks, a systems approach.
No, don't do a dramatic. No, dude, that is no. Please don't.
I'm still eyeballing the Steve Jobs book that my parents got me like a few years back. I still haven't touched the thing because I still think Steve Jobs is a bit of a tool. God rest his soul.
Why do you have a Steve Jobs thing?
Christmas present. I did not ask for it. It was a Christmas present.
What is it about? Like a biography?
Yeah.
Oh.
How about furry communities in some MMO games?
Well, Steve Jobs is.
Yeah.
He was actually an entrepreneur, but I won't actually say.
He was, but he was at the same time quite a tool.
He was really like one of those type of people that I don't actually want to be around too long.
Yeah. He was effective, but an asshole.
And also a lot of energy, I think. Way too much energy. It reminds me of my one of my previous managers that always had like way too much energy. And I actually told the guy once that you should take Ritalin or something just to get rid of it because you're gonna die. You're gonna die of a heart attack one day.
We actually have a suggestion from someone in chat. How about furry communities in some MMO games? I don't know if you play any MMOs, Anpu.
No, I don't. Well, it depends. What about something like Eve or something like World of Warcraft?
Either or, it's still an MMO. I mean, I know you played Eve for a little bit.
I played Eve for a few months, but I never really engaged in other communities apart from some of my colleagues. Now we can talk about that because I can understand it. And what about the furry communities in something a little bit different from normal MMO, is something like Second Life?
Yeah, well, obviously that's big there. In most MMOs, you have like a set list of characters or a set combination of races and classes or whatever. But I mean, Second Life, the possibilities are endless. I mean, I've seen tons of tons of people who have their personas on Second Life, and how some of the modelers make a crap ton of money by marketing specifically to them, marketing the furry models.
That's something that I actually hate about Second Life.
What?
The fact that the people have open sandbox there where they can actually model all sorts of stuff, but that actually created the thing, and that's why it's free, so that nobody actually had to work on the environment and.
Yeah, but not everyone has the skill or the time to do it. That's the thing. I mean.
Yeah, but that's why I hate it. Not everybody is, because the community also don't have the skill to do it. So the 3D models that you get there, the 99% of it is like blocks and crap that you're gonna get in the sandbox environment. Well,
now you're basically pissing on the idea of a free market. Like you have all the resources and opportunities, but not everyone has the time or the skill. So therefore, I don't know,
but it ruins the experience a little bit. If I were the owner of that whole Second Life thing, right, I would have actually split it even more. So I would really create just sandbox environments and the rest of the environments. You understand? Mm-hmm. And get the people to actually come aboard that creates the beta that is experienced 3D modelers and do it, because you go in and then sometimes even the good 3D modelers also mess up, and it's the way 3D modeling works is you need to model economically. So I don't even know. Sorry, I'm reading my Skype here. I don't even know how they organize it or how the guys that run it make any sort of form of income. I really don't actually understand how Second Life works, because it's not like Facebook. They don't market anything, because you don't have to pay to sell stuff there.
No, you kind of do. I mean, in Second Life, you sort of it has a marketplace in and of itself, and that marketplace for space people actually like pay money. I remember seeing a story a while back about, it was like years ago, about a guy who had to take out a mortgage on his house to buy virtual space in Second Life to open up a virtual club, but he made that money back in the space of like 6 to 8 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you buy land.
Yeah, you basically buy property in like the high density areas or the high traffic areas.
What the hell?
It's like renting space on a server. It's the same thing.
It's like renting actual freaking space.
It's renting space on a server in that case, which is the same thing you do if you host a website.
Okay, so that's how they make the income. That makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, anyone in chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's sort of the story that I heard behind Second Life's monetization scheme. To be honest, I'm still a little bit in the dark about all of that because I haven't explored Second Life, excuse me, as much as I would have wanted to. But yeah,
I don't know if I would want to, because mainly of that fact that I just mentioned. Some of the things, but then the other thing is they have a very giant, or very large furry community on there.
obviously.
If not. At least 20% of everybody that is on there. The rest is vampires and werewolves.
Hold on. If they made better tools for creating objects in game, it would bring in more creative people. The Second Life RPG scene is getting bigger with sci-fi colonies. Bugdish, I think you're right in that sense. I mean, it would be cool if they had something, some sort of wizard or tool kind of thing. Like I'm thinking, the first thing that pops into my head is something like the Spore Creature Creator, but like obviously more suited towards what Second Life would actually offer. Something like that would definitely bring in more people and more creatives, or at least the kind of people who would be the kind of person to buy something on a marketplace as opposed to make it themselves. If you just give them some easier tools as opposed to like these only allowing like high-end 3D models like Maya level stuff or Blender or Mudbox kind of stuff, then fine.
Well, you can import 3ds Max models.
Obviously,
or
but not,
Blender
but
stuff.
Yeah, obviously, but not everyone can make 3D Max, and they're in the tool.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be simpler in actual application than on. well, it depends on how you look at it. If you want to go in real detail, and you can buy fursuits on Second Life, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can buy models, buy the furry model. I mean,
yeah, not obviously suits is actually like 3D model.
What's it called? Duskwood or Luskwood or something like that. That make their own. Yeah, Luskwood, I think, that makes a crap ton of excuse me, Second Life models or avatars or whatever.
Yeah, I might actually go into it and look at it again. But last time I was so frustrated because I think I got bitten by a vampire or I don't know what the hell, and then something went wrong and I need to actually bite people, and it was weird. I don't know. When I started it was completely different. That was way long ago. It was completely different. Now there's so much stuff there.
Yeah, Second Life. Yeah, like I said, I've never really explored that, but I can imagine that it would be a bit of a cluster. Yeah, a mess.
Anyways, moving on to the next MMO. What other MMO do you have in mind? Don't say World of Warcraft, please.
If anyone is interested, there's the Second Life store for Luskwood's creations, which are actually pretty damn decent. I mean, I've seen some of these around online, but I haven't really, like I said. Ooh, there's actually an Anubis one.
Yes.
Yeah, but it costs like say Second Life money, so obviously. There you go. As for other MMOs, I don't really. Star Citizen has a huge furry community. It does. I know of Star Citizen. My old roommate from university can't stop singing the thing's praises, but I didn't know it really had like a furry community. I mean, how? Like, what is it? Just like a bunch of furries gathering in game, like, or is there some sort of furry aspect that actually draws them towards it?
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, hi, welcome back. Oh no, we're
hello.
talking,
Yes.
Yeah. Bugdish posted a while back like a question about furry communities in MMO games, and then we went off on a tangent about Second Life and whatnot. And apparently, Star Citizen, for the fact that it's still in beta and everything, has a huge furry community, which I believe, which I can't really sort of wrap my head around. But Star Citizen, I think, will be massive when it hits. If anyone knows about it.
Well, I mean, there's also like that other game. Man, it recently came out. I was speaking about it yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Damn it! Somebody from Google Plus was talking about it. It's just like it's not a MOBA at all, but it's very very furry in respect to what it does. You got like a bear and a rat and a lion. You're apparently trying to overthrow.
No idea what that is. Apparently,
Card-based game.
Oh, that's not that war one.
Something Ilmora or something like that.
It's not like it's sort of like Tales and Tactics kind of vibe, or what?
Yeah, it's actually sort of not World of Warcraft. I think to an extent, if you took Total War and it's Total War and Magic the Gathering. If you put them together, you pretty much get this game.
Okay. Well, also, apparently, I just did a quick Google search, and it says, there are actually quite a few hits for like furry-related bands or guilds or whatever they're called, organizations in Star Citizen, which is strange, to be dead honest.
Okay. Cajunfox is ready to go.
Is he?
Yep.
Alright,
Again.
quick intro. Oh, what do we need to know?
Wait.
As far as I remember, Cajunfox is also Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know about him. He's actually pretty awesome. Well, let's just ask him himself. Let's go for that.
Put him on, and then I'll just have to readjust the things to.
Put him on the big screen.
I'm trying to add him.
Nothing is happening, Ivic.
I just added him again.
No, he's not on the screen.
No.
Let me. I'm gonna push this link to here. Second. Send contacts. Cajun. There we go. Yes. Okay. There we go.
Yay, we got it.
Cool.
What is he? Oh.
Yeah, pardon the sort of scatterbrained few minutes we have going on here. We just need to get stuff up and running, but
Terribly sorry about it.
yeah.
Now, why isn't he showing when you put him in? Just drag and drop him into the screen.
I did the same thing, nothing happened for some reason, but no.
He's not at.
Wait, hold on.
Hello.
Hey, there we go.
Hello.
Hey, Cajun.
Oh, I'm not sure what happened there. I tried to join it, it just kept failing. So, but it looks like it's working now.
Fantastic.
Hey,
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome here. I've been a
You,
scatterbrained.
Hello.
Cajun, you are Canadian, right?
I am Canadian, yes.
Good.
You
Thoughts?
Oh,
From
pardon me,
wherever.
I missed what you said there.
excuse me?
Say again?
Oh, I missed what you said there.
Oh, he asks whereabouts.
We were asking whereabouts in Canada are you from?
I'm from London, Ontario, which is, to give you a reference, about 2 hours away from Toronto.
Ah, cool. Is it
Toronto,
okay? Biggish city, town?
It's big-ish. It's sort of a medium-sized town is what I would consider. It's got about 360,000 people or something.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's pretty big. Ah, cool.
Great.
Yeah, Cajun, welcome, firstly, and
Thank you.
what is your sort of how can I put this? Your contribution to the community. What do you
What's
do
your
for a
claim to
living?
fame?
What's your claim to fame? That's the word I was looking
My claim to fame. Okay. As far as the furry community goes, a lot. Well, up until last year, I ran a convention here in London, Ontario called Condition, which ran for about 5 years. Condition Red, yep. Condition Zero, Condition Blue, all of those. Those were my conventions. I sort of fronted them and funded them.
Oh, okay.
Overall, we managed to raise in total around $50,000 for a charity over the course of 5 years. Our second year that we had the convention, we broke the record for the most money ever donated at a single convention for that year, and that was out of every furry convention in the U.S., and we only had 200 people. We also broke the record for the most money per attendee, which ended up working out to, because we only had around 200 attendees, we managed to get some ridiculous amount of money. And we also broke the record for the largest donation by a single person that year. So we had three of the firsts, which we were pretty pleased with. And then later that year, Anthrocon blew them all away. Well, except for the per attendee. We still hold the highest per attendee. But yeah,
It's weird that you kind of look like. I've actually been looking at your Condition Furry Condition versus Monsters, where you were going beardless. You kind of look like that guy from Scrubs. The doctor that can. The one that continually puts down Jaden. Is it Jaden?
Oh, really? Oh.
Dr. Cox. He looks like Dr. Cox. That's right.
I thought you were going to say I looked like Jaden. I was like, oh, that's real. Oh, Dr. Cox. Oh, he's so
well, I mean, frankly, Dr. Cox is much cooler than Jaden.
He's totally my favorite character on that show.
Exactly.
Okay, well, second favorite, the janitor is still my favorite.
Oh, everybody loves the janitor, yeah.
He also kind of looks like the janitor as well. I'm sort of like between the two.
No, go on and say it. Fucking pick one.
I'll pick everyone. Except for
I have a very generic face. When I was growing up, people used to say I looked like Chandler from Friends.
Oh wow!
Because of the way my hair was at the time, and I never grew facial hair. I used to always shave clean, but now due to circumstances, I have to grow a beard.
What circumstances?
Really?
Sorry, it's Inpw here. I don't know, you haven't met me. I was just setting up the Skype thing. What circumstances would want you to grow a beard?
Canada, it's cold as balls.
It's cold. I need fate now. It's because I grew a beard for so long, and my my wife, who I've now been with for 5 years, married. 4 years, and then I've been with her for 4 years before that. She never saw me shaved, so I finally shaved for this condition, for this charity thing, and she was like, no, you don't ever do that again. And I was like, oh no. She's like, I can't kiss you. It's like I'm kissing a 12-year-old boy. And I'm like, oh.
That completely happens.
How many of us actually know how that feels?
What, kissing a 12-year-old boy or shaving and looking like one?
No. Kissing a 12-year-old boy.
No, I can't say I have.
Do I look like I'm 12 years old because I shave?
You have a shaved head.
And I have a shaved head.
That counts upwards again. Shaving your head counts upwards.
And cold is not an excuse to grow a beard. There's things called bandanas.
That's true. Or scarves.
I like. Yeah. No, it's awesome. I don't know why people would not grow a beard. But
I have a goatee. I always have a goatee. And sometimes I have a full-on beard.
I'm in hipster nation, dude. So
you are the hipster nation, frankly.
No, I am not. I'm not.
Dude, have you been like the center of Cape Town?
Yes, it's just hipsters everywhere.
It's filthy with the things.
Is it really filthy? Well, I don't think they shower very often, but okay.
No, there's so many of them around. And yes, beard keeps you manly. Yes, thank you, Obsidian.
Okay. Cajun?
People,
yes.
in cases of emergency, people flock to people with beards. Just saying.
The
Okay.
funny,
Yes.
the best thing about this entire conversation right now is I think you're what 35, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, 32.
32. Oh, I'm sorry. I saw
That's
1982
okay.
and somehow my math just stopped working.
But
No, that's-
you're 32 years old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes! Yes!
Finally, someone older
You
than
have now become the oldest furry that we've had on our podcast so far.
Live.
Oh, great.
Asbjorn was on. Asbjorn was on.
And that's only
Uh,
because
it-
Rue hasn't connected, because I think Rue is like 37.
Yeah, we tried to get Rue, and like I said, Rue is at his parents' house, and I mean that's definitely a very, very good explanation as to why he's not here.
Of
But
course.
the thing is that I mean, like you've run your own podcast, your own con and everything like that, and I mean your last con was in August 9th, 2014. How did that go? I mean, like, is it still going to carry on next year or this year?
Well, this that was going to be our last year, at least for a while, because the people that ran it, unlike a larger con where there's kind of like a cycling through of staff members, like I also work for Anthrocon in the dealer's room, and at that point, we have like 15 people who work at the dealer's room, and it cycles through every year. You get 5 or 6 people leave, few people come. When you're looking at a small con, everything is, the dealer's room is handled by Nemeth, and the art show is handled by Frost and all that. So after a while, after 5 years of doing it, all this stuff, people kind of wanted, a little bit of, like, they wanted a break. So we thought about trying to get other people to run the con for us, trying to help us. And not to say that we couldn't find anybody trustworthy or whatnot, but we felt that maybe instead of sort of leaving the con in someone else's hands, we would just sort of retire it for a bit and come back to it if there was still a need or a want for it. A lot of people were quite sad that we were doing that, but we told them, it's not the end. It's a break. We need a break. We want our summers back.
Apparently, the average Canadian looks like Ryan Reynolds with a beard
And an axe.
Who posted
and an axe.
Who posted this
That
picture?
was I posted that so the Cajunfox could see it.
This is the most
and-
Canadian thing in the world.
It really looks like Ryan Reynolds with a beard, and frankly, I'm not unhappy about
Yeah,
that.
I'm just gonna have to put that on the screen
do.
here.
It is on the stream already.
No, on the
I see
screen,
this.
on the video
On
screen.
the screen, yes.
Oh, this is good. There's all the stereotypes are right here, and I'd be lying if I said any of them weren't true. I definitely own a plaid shirt. I've got an axe. I mean, who doesn't?
And by
I don't have
extension, you
axe.
also have like a piece of fur somewhere in the house.
Oh, of
Not
course,
to
yeah,
mention the
yeah.
fact that you also have a canoe and more than 2 bottles of like whiskey in the background with a
And-
Oh
moose.
yeah, you gotta have rye. That's Canadian rye.
And Tim Hortons and Poutine and an axe.
There's an axe.
And
There's a
chips.
wood carved duck. I have in fact carved a wood duck, so I definitely have one.
Do you have an end table lamp made of antlers?
I don't have an end table lamp made of antlers, but in my room on the
Remedy
wall is mounted antlers.
Okay, so
That is so Canadian.
I was to say, if you don't have
We use it to
antlers in
hang
the house
things.
if you don't have antlers somewhere, remedy that immediately.
We've got antlers. We've got deer antlers up on the wall.
That is.
We also have a lot of these. I like the picture of the canoe in the background. We have a few those kind of generic pictures. But the only thing that's missing is we don't have wallpaper. Everything else though.
Well, I mean, in South Africa, you'd be hard pressed to find a house with wallpaper. I mean, I know that in 1997, I think the house that we had at the time, actually we wallpapered it ourselves because we missed wallpaper from America.
Oh,
I've never lived in a house with wallpaper.
By the way,
Yeah.
for those watching the video, I just posted what the Canadian stereotype looks like.
It's awesome.
Ivic, you want to repeat? It looks like.
Ryan Reynolds with a beard.
It looks like Ryan Reynolds with a beard.
And an axe and
Which,
skates.
in all frank sort of like perspective, it actually just looks like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool with a beard. It's Deadpool with a beard. You guys are that awesome. I love Canadians. Canadians are amazing. You guys tend to do like all this weird, like I mean, it's like the westernized version of Russia.
Everyone says everyone says like Canada is like the loft apartment above a great house party, which is apparently America for some reason. I'm like, it's a loft apartment above like a bunch of rowdy drunks. Like,
So they
I was gonna
are
say,
the
we've always been described as the rowdy drunks, right above the household of prudes living below us that are going, hey, you guys cut that out! Hey, are those two guys having sex? No, you can't do that. And we're
No,
just
we
like,
can't.
no, we're going to do
You're
it.
supposed to be having sex all the time.
Yes.
Also, there's no Mountie in the picture though. That's a little bit of a shame. And Buglish says there's no hockey stick, but by extension there's hockey skates.
Yeah.
There are hockey skates.
And I
yeah.
mean, not
Yeah,
only
definitely
hockey skates, but the hockey skates from what looks to be the 1980s.
Yeah, that's
The
gone through quite a-
1980s, those look more like the 1920s.
Yeah,
They're made of leather.
those have gone through quite a few rivers and riots.
Yep.
Hockey riots.
And apparently you guys aren't smiling, but that's probably because the cold has frozen your mouths into like a permanent, like, sort of semi-smirk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his serious face. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Well,
That's-
you know, in Canada up here, our cameras are so old, we still have to stand still for 20, 30 seconds for the exposure to go through. You know. Light travels slower up here, too, because of the cold, so it just
Everything
takes a while.
Everything travels slower up there, I believe.
Like, is every
Yeah,
place
if you-
home sweet home or not?
Pardon me?
Is every place home sweet home or not?
Oh, yes, every place is home sweet home. Of course, mine's on
Like-
a floor mat outside of my house, but, you know.
I mean, if we actually talk about like stereotypes and things like that, like one of the things that I heard about Canada is the fact that like everybody leaves their door unlocked, and like
That's true.
everybody just like randomly wanders into your house and goes, "Hey, can I have a cup of coffee?" And you gotta go, "Yeah, cool." It's
That's
just
not
down the
true.
road. It's not true.
If somebody randomly wandered into my house, I'd probably be like, "What are you doing in here? Is this the wrong house?" I'd be really polite about it, of course. But then when they walk
course.
in, I'd
Just remember,
course.
you will be
have to be
polite.
polite. But then when they walk away, we talk smack about them when they can't hear us.
As does everyone.
But yeah,
I thought it was lightning.
we definitely keep our door unlocked. Just like when I come home from work and I go to open the door and it's locked, I'm like, "Oh, who locked the door? There's 4 of us who live in this house.
Wait,
Who locked the door?"
When you physically go to work, you keep your door unlocked.
If there's somebody at the house. If there isn't, then no,
Oh.
I will definitely lock the door.
Yeah, I was just thinking because that would be so un-South African.
Yeah,
You would never, even if you just go and across the freaking road to have a coffee at your neighbor's house or something like that. If you're gonna come back, your house is gonna be empty. Dude.
He's absolutely right, actually, because I mean I live with a roommate, and the thing is that we lock the door when both of us are inside. We lock the door when one of us goes out, and we lock the door when both of us go out.
Well, I'll lock the door at night. Like, we'll lock it at night, obviously, because we're all asleep and stuff like
We
that.
lock it during the day.
You lock it during the day.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know why we never lock the door. It just never occurred to me. People don't really do the whole try to walk into your house in the middle of the day thing.
I think
Pretty much like the worst crime I've ever been a part of was somebody broke into my car one time, but even so, they were really polite about it. They used a Slim Jim to pop it open. They rummaged through all my stuff, but they took some garbage with them, so I thought that was nice. You know, I was like, oh, okay, well, I lost like 17 cents worth of change here, but they did take the garbage out of my back seat. That was awfully nice of them.
and if you caught them, you'd have a nice long conversation about life choices.
Of course, be like, all right, now, what led you to do this 17 cents? Here, let me give you a couple dollars.
Open up.
Give you a couple loonies and toonies there. Go buy a Tim
Like,
Hortons
I
coffee.
mean, so something led you down this path of drugs, and like, I mean, I know that you're my next door neighbor. I like you. We've had a couple of
Come on,
chats.
John.
Why
I know your
would you
name.
have to walk into my house to buy something or like to steal something? I swear to goodness, these are the kinds of people who would like put down $50 of like $100 thing and just say, "I'm sorry, but I needed $50 for this."
Yeah.
A quick question, completely off of the
Canadian stereotypes.
Canadian shtick. Cajun, you mentioned. Do you know Potteroo in any capacity?
Oh yes, yeah. I've known Potteroo for probably about 10 years now.
Oh, okay. Are you also involved in this sort of story thing that Ivic is part of that he still hasn't told us about?
I will never tell you about it.
Yes,
hear
yes, I
about
am. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say, but yes, I am part of that as well.
Coffee.
What type of scheming is going on here in the background of you guys? Seriously.
Yeah. Might as
It's
well.
no scheming. Like the thing is that we're just part of a thing that has to do with the stories of furries from a perspective of like a worldly background. I mean that's about it. Like it's just us talking to other furries, talking about specific circumstances, and really sort of like looking at specific things as to why this happened or how that happened, and finding the story behind how furries in specific areas or specific circumstances actually like reacted to that.
Oh, so it's not a cult, yay.
No, it's not a cult.
I think I'll buy that. That
later.
sounds good.
The Furry Illuminati.
The Furluminati.
Oh, let me tell you, there is some. There used to be a rumor going around that there's the same like 10 people run all of Furry, and they used to be. They say it's the Furry Illuminati, and I used to joke all the time about that. The Furry Illuminati, and then I ran a convention and realized how damn near true it is. There is a convention that runs. The only people that are allowed to go are the people who run conventions. It is a convention for people who run conventions. And you go and it's just like, there's not many of us here. Because some people run 6 or 7 conventions, And then I go there and they're like, oh yeah, you do condition. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, but you also help run Anthrocon, and you also help run Midwest Fur Fest, and you also help run FCN, and this one, and this, and now Feral I'm going to be helping out with. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm one of them.
Wow.
Very, very quickly you get sucked into this stuff.
Oh yes.
So long as they pay for a ticket to wherever we need to go to, that'd be fine.
I'm still racking my brain for like a play on like Rockefellers or something. Never mind. It's not going to come to me anytime soon. I'm under too much pressure.
Well, you put yourself under that pressure.
I know, but I can't think of anything, and I'm super disappointed in myself. Like,
I
incredible.
had something for this. Just say that.
I know I had something for this, and it's just not coming to me.
For those of you who don't know,
you had
we
a
just made
genuine
reference-
Canadian.
We just made a reference to Archer. Those of you who haven't watched it yet, you are very, very misinformed.
Love that.
God bless your souls.
No, I said I love that show.
That show is amazing, but also God bless your souls for not watching it just yet. Archer actually also had a bit about Canadians and Canadian Mounties at that point. Extraordinary rendition.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
We watch Archer here too. We love that show.
Archer's awesome.
Yeah. But no, I kind of like how cartoons have taken that whole sort of step into being like mature comedy as well. Stuff like Bob's Burgers and Archer.
Well, that actually happened way back in the past.
Yeah, I know, but I like that it's sort of properly recognized.
Continue to move along that like sort of trend.
The Simpsons, South Park.
You're not necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily say The Simpsons or South Park actually followed that kind of trend. They're just, it's shock value for them versus something like Archer, which isn't necessarily shock value. It's just that they say it like it is.
No. The Simpsons was just comedy and South Park was comedy, but South Park is meant for...
South Cock?
South Park is meant for adults only. While The Simpsons can actually be watched by children. It's not that bad, though.
What about American Family?
American Dad, you mean?
The American Dad.
That thing. American Dad and Something Family.
Yeah, but that's newer. I'm talking about how it started out.
Yeah.
It's just the difference is that it's comedy. That's a genre. Well, if you're talking about
What about Neighbors from Hell?
I don't know that.
You haven't... Scratch. I am disappointed in you.
I don't know what that is, dude. I don't know what half of anything is.
Repeat it again?
Neighbors from Hell.
I don't know what that is.
It is amazing.
Is that not like Ugly Americans?
No, it's a lot like Ugly Americans, but it's better.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'll put that on the to-watch list with everything else.
Yes, please do. Neighbors from Hell is amazing. Yeah, it's awesome. It's pretty much like making a spoof of every single movie of every single series that came out in the 1980s. That included things like Alf and Married with Children, 2.5 Men, and they kind of make fun of all these kind of like things where it's a person trying to get like ahead in a job while being married with a quirky pet and like really, really strange children.
So it's like a Family Guy.
Kind of Family Guy, but better.
Cation, is there a story behind that picture you have on your Skype profile? Because I do like it.
Yes. So when we ran, when we did the convention, the first year that we did.
Red?
Yeah, well, we did one called Condition 0 Hour, and what we did was we actually, the con had a story that went to it, so it was kind of like a convention and also like theater. So we had a lot of random things where a bunch of the staff would get together and do a little scene somewhere. So we did it at the beginning, we did it at closing ceremonies, and there was a story that progressed through, and we also had movies that went with it that we posted on YouTube.
Oh, that's cool.
What's happening to people throughout the year, and then eventually we keep meeting up at this convention and then throw a party. For Condition Red, what happened was my character decided that he didn't like the way that the convention had been run the previous year, and so using some brute force, I took over the convention and turned it into a people's convention. So we kind of had a kind of a joking play on the 1960s style Soviet, communism thing. It was very lighthearted. It wasn't obviously serious. We made sure not to say or do anything that was really overtly offensive towards that kind of thing. Well, no, we don't care about them. They have to have a thick skin. Come on. But we my character was supposed to be sort of the charismatic leader of the union, leader of the people's army,
Glorious leader.
Glorious leader, exactly. The commissar
kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. I was the outspoken commissar, so I kind of got up on stage and come on, we're gonna do this. And my big platform was that I was making alcohol, and that was pretty much all I had going for me. So,
and I'm pretty sure that everybody followed you after that.
Yes, exactly. That was it. So at the convention, we opened up a special room for super sponsors and sponsors, and where we served alcoholic beverages and also food that I actually cooked, because it was only 200 people, so I was actually able to cater every person that came. So I made huge amounts of food, and we called it the Speakeasy Lounge or something like that, like something kind of classy. That's cool. And so we had kind of we had that sort of that theme going on. The next year, of course, they had the theme where the Americans took over. The blues, we called them, took over, and they knocked me out of my position of power. And Cola took over instead. And Cola instituted the sort of 1920s era America where alcohol was suddenly bad. And so my character and a few of the people who were sort of on my side became rum runners instead. So we had kind of a story of that back and forth going on the whole time.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
God. I wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
I had something for that. I just don't have it right now.
Lana.
One of the things, one of the most sort of interesting things that sort of when it comes to something like feral. And I was speaking to one of the other furs yesterday actually. It was RK, and we were speaking about. The entire thing about furry drama and things like that. Considering that, this is a big issue in a lot of smaller communities. I know that something like Toronto or Ontario, for that matter, they have large amounts of people, and then they actually sort of sect themselves off a lot of the time. Have you ever had that happen to you? You were in?
Yeah, I would say definitely. we live close enough in proximity to Toronto that we kind of we sort of merge with the same circles, so we hang out with the same circles of furs. We had a bit of that kind of separation here in London, and it was a lot of it was. There's sort of two different views of what furry, hanging out with furries is supposed to be, is a good way of putting it. In London, it was much less so, but I found, and I don't want to say anything bad about Toronto, but some of the groups there are more into the sexual side of it, and I'm not as much into that. So I found.
I mean, seeing as you're married, I mean that kind of.
Well, this was this was at the time when I was still single and all that, and I was being sort of. It was kind of like, okay, we're at a huge event, like a fur meet of some kind, and then I noticed very specifically the group would split into two, and one group would go off to do this, and one group would go off to do something else, and it's kind of the why is everybody splitting up? And it was kind of the they're going to go off and have lots of sex. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to hang out with you guys if that's okay, because I wasn't really into that. And I'm not saying, again, that's just one example, but there were other things too, different ideals, even going as far as political things. Some people don't like these people because they're too
liberal.
Well, I'll say like raver, the raver crowd, the music crowd, the DJ crowd, that whole kind of thing. Very, very happy, very lighthearted people. And then there are sort of the more serious crowd, and like these guys just want to sit and have a nice time and relax and drink coffee and talk about books and computers and stuff like that. And then maybe you've got another group who don't like either of those, and they just kind of want to talk about anime all day. And it's not so much that like. I wouldn't say there's even an animosity between the groups. It does split off, and it's more of an interests thing than anything.
The funny thing is all the groups you mentioned, we don't have that many furries aside. We can actually take everything you just mentioned and assign it to particular people instead of particular groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The community is small enough for us to do that.
Cajun, one of the things that I saw on your Wiki Fur page, because you have one apparently.
I do?
Yes, you do.
I'm going to check this out.
It was Windrunner, right?
That's actually I remember when somebody made that page for me. That's not my character's last name. I've asked them to change it. It's not my character's last name. That was from something a long time ago. That was from an RPG that I played, and I don't know where they picked that up from. It's actually supposed to be Rinaldi, as odd as that sounds.
Rinaldi?
Rinaldi, Rinaldi, but they have not. They've never fixed that.
Well, you can fix that. It's a Wikipedia page. You can easily just change it and actually, what's the word? Reference yourself.
A full
reference me. I thought I had tried to do that one time. Let me see. Maybe I can change that header.
I'm going to post
I'll
your
link
right up here into the so that you can just quickly pick up on that. But in any case, what I wanted to say is that it says that you are a furry artist and a fursuiter.
Yes.
Do you have a picture of your fursuit recently?
Ooh, recently? No, not recently. I haven't. My picture of my older fursuit. Ooh, let me see.
Self-made or?
It's not self-made. No. Let me see here.
You do music as well?
I used to DJ, and I used to produce very small-scale music, like using things like Fruity Loops and things like that. I used to just do electronic dance music.
Yeah.
What's that?
Another one.
Yeah.
Why is it that you guys stuck on Fruity Loops? Everybody that does music, Fruity Loops,
because
Loops.
No one can afford anything else, dude.
Fruity Loops is expensive.
Dude, you do that professionally. You can afford everything else, like Ableton and whatever.
Oh, well, I mean, this was also probably 6 or 7 years ago at this point. I haven't really done much with that in a while. Actually, running a convention took pretty much all of the free time that I had. So I haven't had a chance to do much DJing stuff either, or anything. But what else did I use? I used some other programs back then. Fruity Loops. Damn, I had an actual semi-professional one, but I can't remember it for the life of me now.
Pro Tools, Reason, Ableton Live.
Ableton. That sounds very familiar. Yeah. Damn. It's something I might get back into. Again, it was more. Pardon me?
Cubase.
Yeah. It might be. It was definitely something more that I used to do just as a hobby and for fun. It was definitely not a professional thing. Okay, so the closest thing I have to a picture is I have a YouTube video where I am dressed up in my fursuit because that apparently is the newest one. Oh my god. There's a whole bunch of people in this video.
Mind if we post the link or at least a timestamp of where yours is?
Okay, so I'm going to post a link here, and the timestamp of me is around the 35, 36 mark.
Okay.
And this was just a promotional video that we had done for Condition a while ago.
Yeah, that I can't share on the stream, unfortunately. I'll try to post a link in the comment section when we upload this to YouTube. It's because it's an online video. It will probably collapse my stream if I try to buffer that as well.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, I mean, you don't have to watch it. Just like put out the link.
Yeah, post the link in chat.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the video itself.
Yeah.
No, we don't have to put that up. I mean, we have our limitations.
Online limitations for that.
Did you post it?
I posted in the chat here, I think.
I haven't seen it yet.
Did it not work?
In the Skype chat.
Oh. Maybe I should hit enter.
Someone else?
Oh, yeah.
Enter it. Nice.
That usually works. It usually solves like those
That's
issues.
35, 36 mark, you say?
Yeah, 35, 36 mark. I have. I'm just looking through some. I have a friend who had a gallery of a whole bunch of random stuff. I have another picture of my older fursuit, and I do apologize for the. Oh my god, that link is huge. I hope this works. All right, well, gigantic link coming.
Is it you with that like sort of
Sweet
weird
Jiminy.
tag on your head?
Yeah, I did. Is
That is
not
the
a big
biggest link I've seen in ages.
I also hate that picture because A, that's my older fursuit, and B, I was really fat back then.
Yeah, it's one of those like.
Oh no, you look fine. Stop.
Yeah, so I dressed up my character as Star Fox, and my first rather, and then I started going to cons dressed as Star Fox as my character, kind of thing. Just because it was easier. It was fun. Nobody wants to see generic Fox number 3112, but everybody loves Star Fox, you know.
I'm pretty sure that it's around about 30,000 by now, but hey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I got into it pretty early, so.
Also, yeah. It's
Speaking of which, how long ago did you actually start getting into furry?
Oh yeah. So that was the whole point of this this conversation, wasn't it? That we started an hour and a half ago. Okay, so the first time I guess I sort of started into furry, started realizing what furry was. Now this is aside from like any weird tendencies I had as a child or anything, but I would say probably around 99 to 2000. That was probably when I first started realizing that furry was a thing. Before then I had a real I'll say this not a sexual way, I had an affinity to characters like Star Fox and Robin Hood and even other anthropomorphic animal characters. I always loved them, and I used to always imagine, it'd be so cool if everyone was just animals and I had a tail and I could just be this crazy fuzzy creature. And I used to pretend that I lived in the world that the Star Fox lived in, where there are just animals everywhere and they're walking around like people. And then I remember, obviously, I had the internet and I started finding pictures of furries and stuff, and I was like, that's interesting. And I always remember thinking, I don't know if that's something I really want to delve too far into, because there's a lot of weird stuff going on there. And I thought I was like, no, I'm not really into that. I just kind of like this and this and this, and then I think at some point.
99 and 2000, and you had internet that is browsable.
Well, hush.
I had dial-up. Okay.
Yeah, we also were stuck on 56 dial-up back then. You know, you used to ask your mom, "Hello, can I
To
use
not
the
be on the phone.
can I use the internet for like 10 minutes?" No, 10 minutes is too long. It costs so much money.
Okay. Yeah. In '99, I was still in high school. First off, '99, 2000. Actually, yeah, I had a job working in a restaurant. So at night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, I worked at a restaurant, and I used that money to eventually buy cable internet, which was at the time it was 1 meg up, 1 meg down.
Yeah.
Which is, when you compare it,
That was fast for back then.
That's also fast for us in South Africa now.
Don't let on.
No, it's not fast anymore.
It's the truth.
But yeah, no. Back then, I was in '99. I was in primary school, and we had a 56k dial-up modem, and then ISDN came out.
oh,
And that was like the biggest thing, yeah. We didn't have DSL back then, no still subscriber lines. Megs a second? We could only wish. So yeah, it is funny when you actually say that now, because we're always just like 3, 4, 5 years behind of our internet access speed. Always.
of course, yeah.
So, looking at the world today and seeing these upload speeds, our mobile networks are faster than DSL.
Yep, this is true.
Yeah.
Like, I'm off DSL right now, and I actually carried a call at one point.
Oh.
Easily.
Yeah. Let's just say we are a little bit behind.
But anyway, back on the topic of your furry thing, I think you were going to mention something else still.
So like I said, it was kind of a, like, I had sort of figured it out what it was back then, but it wasn't really, I was almost timid to get too interested in it, and then I found, some people at the high school I was going to, they just talking to me about it. He's like, "Oh, you should read these comics," and he's like, "Oh, this one's a furry comic. You're okay with that, right?" And I was like, why not? I'll read it. And one of the comics he sent me was Dan and Mab's Furry Adventure, and I remember reading it and being like, "This is a weird comic, whatever." And I didn't really think much of it until like probably 2 years ago when I realized that the person that draws that comic lives here in London. I was like, "Oh my god, so weird." But anyway, I got into it through there, and I remember I was hanging around at a friend's place, and he was like, "Oh, I have to show you this." And I was like, "Oh god, what is it?" He's like, "Have you ever seen furry porn?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "The furries, they're so weird. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. That's Gadget from Rescue Rangers." And I'm just like, "Oh my god." And he's like, "That's this person. This person. Oh my god, look at the size of the dick on this thing." And I'm like, "Oh my god." I have to go home now.
I have to go home and things.
Yeah.
I have to go have a shower. No, not to say that it immediately got me worked up, but I was like, well, it's another angle to look at things from.
Yeah. Putting that in the bank.
We'll think about that. We'll just hang on to that for a minute.
Yeah.
Put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Put a pin in it. So then I sort of, after that, I started sort of talking to more furries that I had met here and there online, and eventually one of them convinced me, "Oh, you should go to Anthrocon." It was the first convention I would have ever gone to, and these would have been the first people I would have ever met that were furries in real life. And so I ended up going to Anthrocon, met up with a bunch of furs, and had just a really kind of a great time. I did the typical first-year furry thing. I bought a tail and got, commissioned some artwork and all this stuff, and just had generally a good time. And then later found that there was actually a lot of furs that live in London, and I bumped into them and just sort of went from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When did you decide to take it upon yourself to make a con, though?
That would have been in 2008, I think, is when a bunch of us got together and decided, hey, we could probably do this.
All right, cool. So it was just like a random decision, like there's not a big con going on in our area, let's just give this a whirl. Or was it
basically
more thought out? Was there a massive need for it or something?
Basically, it was a mixture of there wasn't a fur con around here, and at the time, Toronto didn't have a fur con, and Ottawa didn't have a fur con. and nobody had FurCons. And so we actually started talking with some of the people from Toronto about the idea of hosting one, and they were kind of like, eh. So we were like, you know what? Why don't we try it? So we had sort of a pre-con. We had about 70 people show up for kind of a barbecue where we sort of asked people what they want to see, what would they want in a con. We don't want to throw just a hotel con. We don't just want to have a hotel. People show up, do panels, have a dance, and then leave. We wanted to do something different. So people were like, oh, you should do like a Nerf tournament. And we're like, oh, that's a good idea. Well, let's do a Nerf tournament. You guys should do this. You guys should have a room where you can serve food and drinks to attendees. And we're like, oh, that's a really good idea. Okay. And we basically did all of that. We threw a convention that was more like almost like a fair than a convention. You know,
Nice.
there wasn't just panels. There was always something else to do, and we did a lot of it. And so we basically threw a small convention to see if there was enough interest. We got about 130 people, which is enough for us to not break even, but enough for us to not be in debt so far that we couldn't host a convention next year.
Nice.
And then, and then the next year we officially sort of broke even enough that, again, we were like, fine, that's fine, we're doing a good job. That was red. Blue, I think we were a little bit in the black. We had actually made a profit, which one of our other convention runners that we know was surprised because that usually doesn't happen. And then we had another one, Condition Wasteland, and again, we had a bit of a profit on that one. And then Condition, what do you call it? The last one we did, Condition versus the Monsters. We also made a small profit. Since that was our last con, though, we actually ended up donating that profit to the charity as well. So I think we accumulated $9,000, and we donated an additional $2,500 on top of that, which technically should have been money that people who invested in our con, being us, got back. But we were like, no, we don't need it. We're just going to give it to the charity. So we thought that was
cool.
Yeah. Hey, the charity was for Salt Haven, which is a wildlife rehabilitation center. They rehabilitate like eagles and other raptors and foxes and raccoons and things like that. So, and it's kind of close to our heart. And that was sort of the main reason why we wanted to do it too. Was we really wanted to help out this charity.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So are you and Ivic now going to collaborate with that thing, that cult thing, the Illuminati thing that you guys are going on here?
Yes, we're all going to become red communist people, and I'm going to start like wearing.
No, to create like a nice, good furry con here in South Africa.
Well, look, I mean, at the end of the day, like that's always been my my goal. I actually have like a whole bunch of ideas, like running through my head right now that have been like bouncing off of a couple of people.
Mention them.
Mention them.
No.
Okay, I've been bouncing it off with.
No, mention your ideas.
Oh, my ideas.
Not the people.
Cool.
We don't
I
care
don't
about
have to
the
mention
people.
any people. That's amazing. Good stuff. Well, I've been looking at fundraisers to try to cheapen the cost between like travel points. If we are going to do like either Pretoria or Cape Town or Joburg or Cape Town, one of the things that I wanted to do is that the hosting city has to actually have like a type of fundraiser to be able to cheapen the costs where and whichever ways that they can. However, if we have something in Bloemfontein, which is like right between the two of us, and I've said this on many, many occasions.
No, Koolsberg is right between us. Bloemfontein is closer to JHB.
Well then, fine. Why don't you actually have it there? Because that town is fucking tiny. You don't want to go there.
If you'd like me to
is alright.
just give one suggestion,
Please.
Yeah.
try to stay away from hosting it in small towns.
Yeah.
I will, without naming the names of any other conventions around, everyone absolutely loved Condition, but a lot of people couldn't make it because we are slightly more remote, and to some people, to a lot of furs, even a 2-hour drive is way too far. Whereas you could host the world's worst convention in a city like Toronto, and people will still go to it because they only have to pay $2 and take the transit to go there. You know, when you have a city of 1.7 million people, like I said, you could host the worst convention, but people will go simply because it only costs them $2 to get there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've known about the $2. I know exactly what you're talking about when you're talking about a $2 convention. But the thing is that I also know who runs that convention.
Well,
I'm not saying that that's a bad convention. I'm just saying
I have heard about that convention, and like, I mean, like, it's all right. Like, I mean, if you're gonna have a convention like that, then have a convention like that. But one of the things that we want to do is that we either have it in either one of the big cities, and we sort of like swap around every year. But the thing is that what I would then have as a as a sort of like, you know, XYZ is that, you know, the city that is hosting needs to be able to make enough money to get the people, or get enough people from the other city, and cheapen things to a point that they'd actually consider coming upwards. Otherwise, it's just going to cheapen it for the people in the city.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have like 25 to 30 people in either city.
Our biggest problem is the fact that our two main, I've said this a million times, our two main fan bases reside in cities that are about 1,000 miles away from each other.
Oh, wow. Whew.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of an issue for us.
Yeah,
And
I was going to
I mean,
suggest a bus or something offering a shuttle, but 1,000 miles is a bit far for a bus.
Yeah, that is like it's a 20-hour drive for a bus.
Yeah, and about 12 to 16 in a car if you're quick.
Which is why, like, the middle distance would probably be better.
But then again, there's nothing to do in Bloemfontein or Koolsberg.
Exactly, it's too small, man. No, you have to have the cons in one of the two cities, or you have the cons in both cities simultaneously.
At any rate, the thing is that like the fundraising ideas that we had was something along the lines of Pet for a Day, which actually carries on, but in your city itself. So you have like 5 or 7 or 20 furs who actually like go up and say like, "Cool, I am putting myself up for the idea of Pet for a Day." Which kind of means, you kind of meet up with a person for a day over a weekend, and obviously nothing bad is supposed to happen. And if something bad does happen, you just, call the police.
Good luck with that one.
Ivic?
You're breaking up a little bit, but yeah.
But like that's kind of the thing. I mean, like if you want to talk to this person, yeah. The other idea that we had is, am I still breaking up? Am I better now?
Yeah, you're better now.
Okay. One of the other ideas that I also had is, well, not me, but myself and Doge. We were talking about it, and we were talking about the idea of getting dog tags, like with wolves, cats, foxes, and whatnot, like sort of engraved on them. And I mean, we'd obviously buy these things at a cheapish price, and then sell them like at a higher based price. But the thing is that it's still manageable for most furs. And then that money would also then go towards like getting money for that kind of stuff. Not to mention the fact that, I mean, we have a lot of artists who I know wouldn't be upset with the idea of actually necessarily selling their art, and I put this into quotation marks in my face. But the thing is that like a lot of the times they tend to do most of their commissions for free, and a lot of them are really, 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 really good. And what I'm actually saying is that, we get them to, say, put a 50 Rand markup on their art, and that 50 Rand then goes towards paying for, say, lodging, at least lodging. I mean, travel costs, we can't necessarily do much about that, because the thing is that you'd have to book, like, years ahead of time to be able to get it at a cheap enough price. But I mean, the thing is that, and then obviously then we have the donor point where, like, if you want to donate like 50 Rand a month, which would be around about $5 a month, towards the cause, then obviously those people are our super donors or our donors, that would then sort of get special treatment. But they're also, like, not only are they cheapening it for themselves, they're cheapening it for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's what I'm kind of like thinking about, is that what would happen is that even if it is in either part of the country, both of them should still be able to move towards like gaining that kind of money. But at the end of the day, what I would really like is that the country that is hosting, country, because it is practically two completely different countries. the city that is actually hosting it would have to donate or have to find a way to, like, just up the ante a little bit. So, in other words, if it's 5,000 from, say, Cape Town, but Joburg is hosting, then it would be 10,000 from Joburg. And I mean, I'm really talking about it like very, very small amounts of money. But the thing is that, like, that's the thing. If the city is hosting, they should actually have a little bit more to be able to have the amount of capital that is necessary.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are the ideas that I've been bouncing around in my head for a while, and I've been bouncing it off of the odd people here and there. And, like, yeah, I mean, like, that's kind of what I really want to do, and I want to get this going. Even if we get outside sponsors, that'd be fucking amazing.
It would, yeah, but...
I will say one thing. Furries love trinkets, as we found. So when you said dog tags that have, like, say, like a paw print or a fox or a wolf or something on them, those work really well. We found, if you can find a place that does laser etching, or if you have anybody who has one of those laser etchers, I know that those...
We have, like, 2 or 3 people already.
Okay, the little Lexan or plexiglass or Romark plastic, I can't remember exactly what they call this stuff anymore. You can get clear stuff, and what we did was we actually bought a bunch of huge sheets, and we had somebody who cut them. And the cost for us, I think, was maybe $10 a sheet, $10 Canadian per sheet, and we managed to cut out maybe, I don't know, maybe 30 dog tags out of each one and etch it out. And we sold them for $1 or $2, I think, and it came with a little chain, you know. So we made a little bit of a profit, but whenever we went to other conventions to promote, put this pile of dog tags, and, you know, one in every maybe 30 people that walk by will buy a T-shirt, but everybody who walked by would be like, oh, look at the little dog tags, they have a little wolf on them, oh, let's get this, oh, it's only $2, oh, it's only $2, and that's the thing, it's only $2. Furries love really, 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 like I'd say anybody, any fandom, love the little tiny things that they can take home and be like, oh, I got this for you, or whatever.
What's some of the keychain?
Yeah, a little keychain, or like I said, the dog tags, a little dog tag chain. Yeah, people just love those little things. So that's a really good way of getting support. T-shirts also do work. I don't know how good the printing is in South Africa as far as like what prices you might get. Here we pay about $7 a T-shirt, and that's
about the same here, yeah.
Right,
okay, that's for the higher quality T-shirts. Like I think we get 5 colors, and they're the kind of fruit of the loom, nice heavy shirts.
No, the T-shirt, to print a custom thing on it is more expensive than $7.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's not that much more, but it is more.
Yeah.
But if you can, her brother does that kind of stuff, but yeah.
If you can keep the prices low, like around 15 to set, like that's what you're going to sell it for, and you're still making a good profit, then that's good. I know Podaroo, they print off hoodies, which go really well in Canada because, you know, it's cold here and such. And they charge $40, and they still run out of those every year. But those are a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, but we can even look at something like that. People here also wear hoodies a lot, especially in winter time. And people actually like them more than a T-shirt because it's actual clothes, like more full clothes, can you actually say. T-shirts, you throw it through the wash a couple of times and then...
Yeah, well, it's not supposed to, like, become... it's not supposed to only sit through 1 or 2 washes and then become crap. I mean, that's not what we want. But
but you in general, even a brand name T-shirt, you can't wash it that much. You'll actually be surprised the amount of times you can wear a T-shirt before the label already starts going off. Even a brand name.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, so, well, hoodies, you don't wash it like every time you wear it. Because you wear it in the cold, you wear it like, okay, I'm wearing a hoodie, and then the next day for 2 hours you're going to wear it again when you're going outside. When you're inside, you wear a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I hope to goodness I'm not the only person who's like clean T-shirt every day, clean underwear every day. Jeans are basically infinite. Like you can wear them for a small eternity.
I won't say infinite for me, but I'm generally the same way. Jeans, I'll get a good 4 or 5 days out of it, depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah, easy. Hoodies are kind of the same.
Hoodies are the same. To me, a hoodie is pretty much just a jacket. I don't wear a hoodie inside. I put a hoodie on if I'm going to run outside, or if it's really cold, I'll put a hoodie and a windbreaker on. Like if it's negative 15 or something, I might wear a hoodie and a windbreaker or something.
Okay, yeah, no, it needs to be a little bit hotter for me, and then I'll say I'll put a hoodie on. Not negative 15, dude. Negative 15, I'll put on everything in my closet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. I think it's -7 out today. It's really sunny and nice, and I went out there to let the dog out and stuff like that. I was like, oh, it's a really nice day out, and I'm in my bare feet.
Hold on.
Like, oh, it's so nice, and I walk in, and my wife's like, are you crazy? It's nice out. It's all sunny.
Hold on. Since I know Canada uses both, is that -7 Fahrenheit or Celsius?
That would be Celsius. So it ends up being around 15 degrees Fahrenheit, I think.
Okay. That's
I want to put this out there.
No?
I'm going to refer back to a conversation point that I put out about maybe 40 to 50 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Canada is the American version of Russia.
Sure.
That's about it.
Except
freezing.
They don't revel in the ridiculous craziness, and no one has bats in their trunk.
And
But then again, Ontario actually hasn't had a lot of snow recently.
We haven't had a huge snowfall, but the snow that did fall in December is still here. Like there's still snow on the ground from when it snowed in December. It's kind of like the Arctic. It snows once and then we just don't. It never goes away.
I think it was either 1996 or 1995 or practically 1997. I went to New York in during one of the big blizzards. It was April, and the snow was still at least 2 feet high, and I was kind of sitting there going what the hell is going on here? I mean, I was coming from Maryland, and Maryland was it was a bit snowy, but it wasn't as bad as New York. I mean, New York was whoa, you kind of walk in there and you're there is a lot of snow here, and it's supposed to be spring, and it's not happening.
So what? I do apologize. I don't know anything about what the temperature is like in South Africa in that region.
It's hot all the time.
Is
it hot?
No. It's not. Even places like Florida can get hotter. We have winter, but we don't have snow. We're not that far. Our latitude isn't that far from the equator.
Okay.
So we have snow on mountain ranges. We have snow on mountain ranges where the snow actually will sit and stay there. But in the summer, you're talking anything. Just the other day in Cape Town, it hit 38 degrees Celsius.
Okay. Yep.
So it is around there, and 38 for us is unbearable. Or for me, I cannot freaking live in that type of temperature. But
and you guys are. It's your summer right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
So we're actually sort of in the summer, and in the winter, you're talking about sometimes in the nights it will go 0 to -5.
Yeah,
minimum.
I think -5 is Sutherland on a cold day.
But then there are the rural areas in the country, between these two major cities, where it can drop even lower than that and get even hotter than what I just mentioned. There are places where it hits way more than, or not way more than 40, but 40 and up, and then places where it hits -15 and down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bloemfontein has been known to have frost on wood things.
Yeah, but not straight up snow.
No, not straight up snow, but that's because it doesn't have clouds. It's completely open. It's always open, which makes it really, really cold.
The funny thing about that area is I always joke about it. This is the flattest city in South Africa. There's no, it's not really actually like that. There are hills, but you can joke around with it. I always say that in Bloemfontein you can watch your dog run away for 3 days.
But
it's absolutely true. You could, and the other thing about Bloemfontein is that you could probably ride your bike from one side of the city to the other side of the city in about maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of a small town. But the thing about South Africa is we have like really what
Sorry.
are you laughing about now?
I'm speaking to there's a resident from Bloemfontein sitting right across me right now, and he just gave me the middle finger.
I was gonna say, yeah. The thing about South Africa is we have like really diverse weather conditions in like a whole bunch of different places. Like Durban is basically Florida. Sort of Knysna is this like freaking almost Amazonian emerald green forest place. Cape Town
Same thing as KwaZulu-Natal.
Yeah, Cape Town has this sort of almost Mediterranean kind of climate, like really grey and drizzly winters and like decent hot summers. And then Joburg has like cold, frosty winters, but thunder showers in the summer.
Yeah, Johannesburg is like all those places in the center of America. Those places that gets like these super big thunderstorms.
Yeah. Joburg is the Midwest, kind of.
Well, not super big. I mean, it's not Oklahoma.
Yeah, we don't get the super cells, but we do get a twister there, one is here and there, actually. It's just,
the thing is that those twisters are so weak that a house generally sort of like tilts like
you'll actually be surprised. Rudderport in the 70s was destroyed by one, completely, by EF4.
That's the 70s! That's 40 years ago!
But it happens. Just very not as frequent. But what I wanted to say is the storms are big. It's just not supercells; it's multicells. So you get lightning storms there. Apparently, Johannesburg is a self-proclaimed.
Storm, actually.
Apparently, Johannesburg is proclaimed to be the lightning capital of the world. Self-proclaimed, by the way.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah, I think there's places that's worse.
In comparison to Cape Town, we're the I'd say that we're the lightning capital of Africa. I wouldn't go as far as the world.
Yeah, here in Cape Town, when lightning strikes, the people are gonna go, "What is that?"
People go, "Did the lights just go out for like half a second?"
Fine, say what you will. I just straight up don't like lightning.
No, I love it.
I hate lightning.
I love lightning.
I love it. I'll sit forever and watch it. The only thing is, it's actually dangerous to sit outside and watch Johannesburg lightning.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm sitting inside, looking out of my my patio door.
Yeah, see, exactly. That's kind of why I prefer sort of Cape Townian weather over Johannesburg weather. Is that you can swim in summer without fearing for your life. Because if you get struck by lightning in a pool, you're pretty screwed.
I think it's the general rule of thumb: don't go swimming in a thunderstorm, though. I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah. So spitting into the wind. Why would you do that?
Yeah, pissing into the wind. I think is what we. That's the term we use.
Pissing is the one, but spitting is also pretty bad, considering that it comes back to your eye.
In Cape Town, the wind blows so heavy, you won't be able to piss anything out if you're pissing into the wind.
The wind is not that bad. It's not PE.
You were saying about temperatures earlier, though, and you were saying like the range of temperatures you get there. This might surprise you a bit, but the temperature range here where I live is ridiculous. The summertime it usually goes up to 35 Celsius. On really, really unbearably hot days, it has gone up to 40, but I haven't seen it. It didn't happen last year. It happened a few years ago, and the coldest it's ever gotten here was negative 42. That when I've lived here.
What?
Yeah, that was with the wind chill. The actual temperature was negative 27, which is still cold. So we had to go out and bring our horses in because he was for our horse rather. He was freezing.
Damn, son.
Negative 42.
Yes, that's with the wind chill. So that factors in the wind and all that. But here, because it's so flat. What's that? Oh, we have one right now. Yeah.
It's Canada. Everybody has a horse.
We have to have a horse.
No.
He lives on a farm, and we visit him now and again. He doesn't live at our house.
Is that kind of temperature differentiation like a new thing? Like because of the weather is getting a little bit weird. There's no denying it. Climate deniers, cough cough. But
no.
So that's natural.
I'll say that it's happening more common that we're getting years of that extreme. Before it was kind of once every 2 or 3 years, it'll go down to negative 25, 26, 27 degrees, and then with the wind chill, feel like negative 40. Now you can definitely say that it is more common, but it's not unheard. Unheard of.
Okay.
So this year, the summer was definitely warmer than it had been for many summers.
But that's when your fursuit is great. When you're fursuiting and it's like negative something, not negative 40. That's way too much.
Negative anything is good.
But then you can fursuit for a while. I think isn't that true?
You'd think that.
So
I can ask some of the people who got stuck. I'm sure you guys heard about what happened at MFF with the chlorine thing and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was there, and we had a lot of friends who were out in fursuit in the cold, and it was only, well, I say only, but it was only maybe negative 2 or 3, and after about a half hour, they were shivering and freezing because fursuits are made generally of faux fur, which is usually sort of like a cotton polyester weave. Mm-hmm. And the wind eventually goes through, and you're in a fursuit, you've been sweating, you're all wet and sweaty and gross underneath.
Oh, yeah,
suddenly,
obviously. Yeah, it's actually not designed to
No.
be cold, but it's also, or to be hot, but it's also not designed to stay cool.
No.
So,
Unless you have fans, like lots of fans inside, or a cooling pack.
anyways, listen,
That's pretty cool though.
our stream is already 1.5 hour. Ivic, are we gonna wrap it up a little bit?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we may as well. I think. Cajun, thank you so much for joining us on a bit of a short notice.
Oh yeah, not at all. This is a lot of fun. If you guys ever, run out of people to interview and you need me to jump on, I can do it again.
We will definitely take you up on that. It was fun having you on.
Yes.
Great, yeah, it was fun doing it. It was great to talk with you guys.
Okay, cool. Ivic just dropped again.
Okay, fine. I'll do the sign off then. Let me just get the stream. Yeah, to everyone who joined us again today, thanks a lot. I mean, a bit of a rocky start, but we got there eventually. Thanks to Buglish, Raccoon, Enigmatic Wolf, Dusky, and Kane Osgar. Thanks for listening, guys, and everyone who I didn't mention who popped in and out of chat. And yeah, Occasion, thanks again. Thanks a lot.
Hey, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Sorry about that.
Oh, yes. Ivic, we already did the shout-outs.
Yeah.
They just wrapped up without you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. This welcome to South African internet.
Yeah. Well, you and your thunderstorms up there.
It's not the thunderstorm. It just literally just disconnected.
Damn Vodacom. Hi.
Damn
Yeah.
telecoms.
Yeah.
Alright, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.